Aloha everybody, this is Captain John from Think Ocean, where we'll talk about all aspects of the ocean in hopes of making it a better and healthier place. Aloha everybody from Kona, Hawaii. I'm Captain John Gibbons, your host of Think Ocean. And this episode we have a very special guest here, Charlie Fasano. Welcome to the show, Charlie.
Aloha, Captain John. Thank you for having me here on your show, and everyone in the audience of Think Ocean, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, Charlie. It's our pleasure to have you here. Charlie is the former executive director of the Ocean Artists Society, and he has a degree in marine biology from the University of North Carolina in Wilmington, and he also used to work for NOAA Fisheries out of Miami, where he was a reef restoration scientist. And Charlie, I'm just going to let you know that some of my staff found out an interesting little tidbit about you.
Oh, no.
I think you were just inducted into the Explorers Club.
Yes. Yes, I was very honored to have been recently inducted as a international fellow in the November induction ceremony for the Explorers Club New York City. I was very, very fortunate through my sponsors Martin Krause and Jennifer Arnold.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Charlie now is the regional director for Hawaii of the Shark Research Institute, which was famously founded by Marie Levine. Charlie, what is the main scientific focus of your work with the Shark Research Institute here in Hawaii?
Yes, thank you for asking. The Shark Research Institute's main focus for Hawaii is to be the collaborative institution or the collaborative hub for many different Hawaiian institutions in the identification for the state system of tiger sharks. There is a statewide catalog for tiger sharks encompassing not only the main Hawaiian islands, but also out into the Papahana-Mokuakea National Marine Monument all the way out to Midway. There is an identification system of tiger sharks for the entire state of Hawaii, and Shark Research Institute is the main manager of that database. We'll be building and collaborating with the different institutes of NOAA, University of Hawaii, the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology, National Park Service, the Ocean Ramsey is going to be contributing her data too.
Oh, wow.
To build a single universal statewide identification catalog.
Wow, that's very awesome work, and it's one that's needed. Why is that work needed, Charlie?
Well, tiger sharks are a very important aspect of the ecological cycle of the Hawaiian waters. They're all also very important to Hawaiian culture and traditions. And so maintaining a delicate balance of keeping their populations striving and keeping the ecosystems healthy for them, tiger sharks are an integral part of the environmental cycle here in Hawaii. So maintaining a catalog that gives them a characteristic and knowing what their lifestyle patterns are is important in the research of this animal so that we could make sure the populations stay strong.
Now, Charlie, there is a very special site here in Hawaii that the main focus of your tiger shark research is going to be. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. My particular specialty is Honoka'au Harbor. Now, with the catalog, we are going to be using data from many different institutions around the Hawaiian Islands, but my personal work is at Honoka'au Harbor. And Honoka'au Harbor is it's an anomaly of a site in terms of nature. I had written an article which appeared in a couple of periodicals last year in 2018 concerning the different aspects of Honoka'au Harbor. What makes this place spectacular is when the Army Corps of Engineers in the late 70s and early 80s was blasting a 250 slip harbor using dynamite and chisels, everybody was screaming bloody nature, that you're going to scare nature away. You're going to dolphins are never going to visit here. The whales are never going to come to the big island anymore because there's so much blasting, so much destruction.
Because it was a natural bay, they just enhanced it a lot.
A lot. Remember that cut that they made at the harbor mouth was a closed cut. And yes, they did choose that harbor because it was the lowest lying of them, but at the same time, they still had to do a lot of blasting to accommodate 230 vessels. That's a lot of vessels in a small area.
It's a big basin they blew up.
Yes, correct. So this was done many decades ago. So think about it. Along 120 miles of coastline along the west side of Hawaii, this one particular bay, which was blasted out, and also has the most anthropogenic use today. All the vessels that are going in and out of that harbor 24 hours a day, mind you. Fishermen are leaving out of that harbor 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Recreational tour guides are being done between 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock in the morning. The afternoon tour guides, and then the manta night dives and blackwater dives. That harbor gets constant use by man with their vessels all day long. And the amount of use, coupled with the amount of wealth and biodiversity at this site, makes this one site what I call the anomaly of nature. Nature should not be there anymore, according to conventional wisdom. When all the blasting and dynamite occurred, and then the use by man, there should be, literally, conventional wisdom says that there should be no activity of nature there. But yet, it's the complete opposite. This one bay has the most amount of biodiversity and biomass and bio-use for a harbor.
Wow, that's amazing. Tell us more about this biomass that we can find there, all the diversity of marine life.
Well, Captain John, you've dove with me at this site many times.
Yes,
and
yes, we
as
have.
soon as we jump in, we're in a very healthy coral reef system, and immediately the regular players of coral reef fish are seen. Our Hawaii state fish, Humu Humu Nuku Nuku Apua'a, is immediately at our feet as we first step into the coral reef system. Once we submerge ourselves, we swim out along healthy corals and look at all the invertebrates like octopus and sometimes reef squid that we come across.
Yeah.
Now, we always aim for raccoon butterfly fish rock. You always remember
I
that
love
one
that
big
place.
coral head
Sure,
that has,
sure.
the dance of red and yellow off of the
It's so
raccoon
beautiful.
butterfly fish. The school that hang out there is gorgeous. And as we're heading down, we'll usually come across spotted eagle rays getting cleaned in the sand by all the little cleaner wrasse.
Yes,
And along
yes.
the coral reef, we see frogfish. There's always eels. If you look about interstitially amongst the coral reefs, you'll see eels playing around and hanging out, always looking menacing and gaping at you. But you know, they're just modified guppies.
They're really big ones, though.
Yes.
They seem to be larger than the rest of the ones you find around in the state of Hawaii.
Even at 40 feet, we do find some big white-mouthed moray eels
yes,
at our
they
harbor,
are.
and that's what's that's the beauty of it. And the reason is that they get so large here is because there's so many little reef fish around there. The population of damselfish and chromis, which you always see are the small little fish that
Sure.
are always hanging around the reef, they are intricate to the system of the reef, and because there's so many of them, other fish are able to, they have a good food source there.
It seems to be a great food source from the very bottom all the way to the top of the chain that you could find. The classic food chain on a reef system can be found there at Honokohau.
The most impressive that I like to see are the cleaning stations, because at the cleaning stations you have so many different fish, large and small, coming in to get cleaned up by the cleaner wrasse. I love to watch them do their little waggle dance to attract other fish to come in, and everybody gets clean on a cleaning station. Many times, not just the regular reef fish, I see the eels themselves getting cleaned up and
Sure.
the fish going inside their gills and
Yes.
their mouth. My favorite animal that visits them is, the Hawaiian manta ray.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful to have manta rays come in about 30, 40 feet of water and hit the cleaning stations. And you could just hover right next to the cleaning stations and have the manta floating on top and just observe and watch. You're not bothering them. The Hawaiian manta rays are so acclimated to human presence that even when you see them in the daytime, they're not bothered by your presence, even as a scuba diver. It's a really magical experience.
You know, with manta rays there and the invertebrates that are on the reef and all the small fish that are in the reef, it actually sounds like very clean water and a very clean reef system at the mouth of a harbor that is very active with lots of boat.
Correct. It's clean because there it is a freshwater seep in that area. There are a lot of nutrients in that area. A lot of nature's natural cycles are represented there. Along the ledge, we see many menini, the schools of menini that hide inside the plate corals.
The convict tanks.
Schools of convict tanks fluttering around all over the place, and large honu. Especially love the big honu.
The green sea turtles.
Now, you did mention the fishermen that do come in and out of the harbor all day long. And that's an important, they're an important part that brings in my favorite animal to the harbor.
And what is that?
That's the Hawaiian tiger shark. To me, the Hawaii tiger shark is the most majestic animal of our waters. It is, I don't want to call it an apex predator by any means, because it's more of a cycle. It's an intricate part of the food web and the food cycle for Hawaiian waters. And Hawaiian culture for centuries has been dependent on the health of the reef systems for food and sustainability.
The tiger sharks really keep the reefs clean,
Yes, correct.
free of diseases and viruses, and fish populations in check.
Correct.
So one doesn't overtake, and then so they keep the reef in check and keep it clean.
Humans learned from the bubonic plague that when you have dead matter laying around, that you will start a plague and a virus that can wipe out a population of a species. And the tiger sharks clean the system by making sure that any large matters of dead organic matter, say a whale, just happens to come onto the reef.
Sure.
The death of that whale, if it's not properly decomposed, can kill the other animals on that reef.
Sure.
And so the tiger shark's job is to eat in large quantities the meat of that whale so that the reef stays healthy. For decades, since the Army Corps of Engineers had blasted the harbor, the fishermen have been throwing away their scraps just outside the harbor mouth, and they've been doing it on a routine basis. Because of this, the tiger sharks have started to accumulate there at the harbor mouth, waiting for scraps from the fishermen in the morning. Now, we all know this is not something new. We all know tiger sharks. Captain John, you've been around the world. You know every harbor around the world in the subtropic zone has tiger sharks. It's
Yes.
just a known fact in the Mediterranean,
They're
in the
everywhere.
Pacific, in Tahiti, in the South Pacific, in Florida, even in North Carolina, along the eastern seaboard, and in Europe. Tiger sharks visit and stay at harbor mouths. What makes this a little bit special here at Honokaha Harbor is that we start seeing the tiger sharks in the beginning of summer, late spring, early summer. They're relatively skinny. And I started noticing something, that they're all females. We very rarely ever see a male tiger shark at Honokaha Harbor. There's only been one documentation of it. And then, as summer moves along, these females start getting larger, and realizing that they're pregnant females. They begin their pregnancy, their term, in the beginning of spring, and during the summer, we can see them consistently, almost on a daily basis. We could see the same animal getting larger and larger.
Well, that's amazing for just a dive site that's so consistent like that.
Correct. And the reason that they're there is because, well, think about it. If you're a pregnant organism, you're not going to travel far to expend energy. So you stay where there is a food source. So they're going to stay there all summer while they're gestating, while their babies are growing inside of them. And well, there's a side fact about tiger shark pregnancy. Originally, when a tiger shark gets pregnant, they have anywhere from 18 to 25 pups inside. But by the time those pups are born, because they are live bred inside their stomachs, ovoviviparous, because they are live bred inside the stomach, the siblings eat each other during gestation.
So how many come out?
About 8 to 10. So this is evolution.
But they are cute animals,
Oh,
aren't
they're
they?
great animals. Yes, they're absolutely adorable. But this is evolution
Sure.
and Darwinism in the womb. You know, it starts off the strongest win.
It really
even
is,
in the
isn't
womb.
it? It's,
So this is an animal that's ingrained in the womb, that it has to survive by taking out other things around
Right.
it, even if
Wow.
it's sibling.
That's amazing. It's
So-
very interesting.
So that's a quick side note about the pregnancy. Let's talk about why these sharks are here at Honokaha Harbor. We're seeing them. Obviously, they're staying there for the food source, okay? And then right after Labor Day, around mid-September, all of a sudden, pow! These sharks that are big, beautiful, pregnant females are all skinny females again. They gave birth. So
And
we
so do you
suspect
think that they give birth there at Honokaha somewhere?
that is the holy grail of underwater imaging right now, and for our scientific research. If we could find that Honokaha Harbor is a birthing site for tiger sharks, we will be able to extend the national park line of Honokaha National Park further south, so that the tiger sharks will have no-take protections in the harbor.
Wow, that is
And that's
amazing.
what we're looking for. That's the ideal objective of my work. I am looking for the pregnant female giving birth at Honokaha Harbor.
Wow, that is really exciting. So, Charlie, how do you plan on making a systematic identification catalog of the tiger sharks at Honokaha?
We'll be following the same procedure as in French Polynesia for setting up the identification catalog for the tiger sharks. It is a globally accepted identification system based on markings and scarrings of the shark.
And that was founded in French Polynesia?
Well, that's the basis of the scientific paper came from. And
Oh,
so
wow.
we're using that as the base model for us. Keep it all simple. Keep it the same system. That's the overall objective, is to get a global system set up of tiger shark identification.
And that's awesome. And you're responsible for getting that done here in Hawaii.
In Honokaa Harbor, correct, and also doing it for the state, collaborating for the state. But most importantly is not just myself, it's getting the citizens involved. Honokaa Harbor has become a very popular dive site, and I've been seeing a lot of different tiger shark photographs on many different Facebook pages. And that's what we like to do, is get the citizens involved. This isn't a snooty academic scientific expedition or a project. This is citizen science at its best. We want the citizens here who dive with tiger sharks to be involved with the catalog and identification system.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they happen to take a photograph of a tiger shark that's never been identified before, we will give the citizen the naming rights of that shark.
Yes,
We want people involved.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be certain people that are going to be on the board helping us getting the proper identification. Voting. Every citizen involved will be able to vote on the identification of that shark.
Oh, that's
So we
exciting.
want
Yeah, getting
people
the
involved.
people involved.
Correct, because to have a catalog and just not have it out there to the public does no good to anybody.
No, it gives
So
appreciation, and it's just good in every aspect.
Yes, we protect what we love and understand.
Sure.
And so having citizens love and understand tiger sharks by getting them involved is a big step in their conservation here in the state of Hawaii.
That's awesome. And do you have any expeditions that the average citizen can train to be a citizen scientist?
Yes, I'll be there all summer myself collecting individual data. But in September and October, I will be leading the Shark Research Institute's expeditions for the tiger shark identification catalog. That happens in September. You're welcome to go to sharks.org under expeditions, and you'll see all the details of the expedition. We would love to have the citizens come out. I'm going to teach you how to photograph tiger sharks. We're going to be diving with tiger sharks on a daily basis, photographing them, cataloging them. I'll be giving lectures on underwater imaging, and we'll also have celebrity imagers give talks and presentations too.
Well, that sounds really awesome. That should be a good time. Charlie, it was most certainly a pleasure to have you here at Think Ocean.
Captain John, it's been my honor being here. I enjoy the work and the podcast that you're doing, outreach of conservation. Keep up the good work. Mahalo.
Thank you, Charlie. And to everybody out there, if you want to find out more about the Shark Research Institute, please go to sharks.org. I'd like to thank everyone for listening to Think Ocean, and let's all strive to become ocean stewards, and together we can make the oceans a better and healthier place.